Hello, dear friends. As you begin a new day, whether it's filled with unexpected challenges or moments of grace, please don't forget this one truth. You always have a place where you can open your heart, share your burdens, and put your trust. That place is in God. So now, let us begin this morning together in prayer. Before you check your phone, before you open your calendar or step into another task, I invite you to take a moment right here. You don't need to rush. Just pause, take a deep breath and let the silence hold you. Let this be the first thing you do today, turning your heart to God. Not with a perfect prayer, not with all the answers, but simply with a willing spirit. Because before you begin, before anything else moves forward in this day, there is a space for trust, a sacred space where you can place your heart in His hands. And that's what this morning prayer is all about, learning to trust God before you take the first step. So, gently close your eyes, if you can. Breathe in slowly, breathe out deeply. You are not alone here. God is near. He's closer than your worries, closer than your thoughts, closer than your own breath. And in this moment, He invites you not to fix everything, not to prove anything, but to trust Him. Just as you are, let your heart whisper this: Lord, I don't know what today will bring, but I know You are already in it. So I choose to begin not with fear, not with planning, not with striving, but with trust. You see, trust is not about certainty. It's about surrender. And this morning, you can surrender, not everything, just one small moment. This one, you don't have to carry the whole day yet. Just let your first step be one of trust. Maybe you woke up with anxiety, or maybe your heart is restless for something that's yet to come. Maybe you're tired before the day even begins. That's okay. Bring all of that to God now. You don't need to hold it together. You just need to show up. And when you do, you'll find a Father waiting, a Savior listening, a Spirit ready to guide you. That's the power of beginning with trust. Now say this with me in your heart: Jesus, I am here, and even if I don't feel ready, even if I don't feel strong, I choose to begin this day with You. I choose to believe You will walk with me. I choose to rest in Your love before I do anything else. Let this be your anchor, friend, not the news, not your schedule, not even your emotions. Let the first voice you hear today be God's. And He is saying to you, You are my beloved. I am with you. You can trust me. Receive that truth. Let it sink deep, past your logic, past your fear, past your doubts. Let it live in the hidden place of your soul. That's where trust begins. You may not know how this day will unfold. There may be surprises, changes, setbacks, or blessings, but none of that can change this moment, this decision to trust. And when you start your day with trust, you are no longer walking alone. You are walking with grace, with peace, with the presence of the One who holds all things together. So let your first act today not be scrolling or running or worrying, but praying and trusting. Say it again: Lord, before I begin, I choose to trust You first. That is enough. That is powerful. That is sacred. And that is where your day begins. And now that you've spoken your first prayer, even in the quiet of your heart, take another breath and remember, you don't have to prove your worth to be in the presence of God. He is not waiting for you to be more holy, more productive, or more prepared. He is already here, and He delights in your simple turning toward Him. Maybe you feel small this morning. Maybe the worries ahead seem bigger than your strength. But trust doesn't come from being strong, it comes from being willing. And right now, you are willing. That's all God needs. He's not asking you to finish the race. He's asking you to take the first step with Him. And that step begins right here, with trust. So before you plan how to respond to that message, before you map out how to meet every deadline, before you rehearse that difficult conversation in your mind, pause. Let trust come first. Let this stillness anchor your day. Let this small act of faith shape everything else that follows. Because when you trust in the Lord with all your heart, you are not just hoping vaguely, you are standing on a promise. A promise that says you are not alone. A promise that says God is guiding even the steps you cannot see. A promise that says He is for you. He is with you. He is ahead of you. Maybe you're facing decisions that feel too complex, too overwhelming. Maybe you're holding responsibilities that weigh too heavy. Or maybe life feels uncertain and you don't know where to begin. Let this be the beginning. Trust is not a one-time declaration. It's a posture of the heart. And right now, you can choose that posture. You can lean into the arms of God instead of leaning on your own understanding. You can choose to say, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. That choice will shift your perspective. It will calm your anxious mind. It will root you in something greater than circumstances. Because trust is not based on how things look, it's based on who God is. So whisper it again, gently. Lord, before I begin, I choose to trust you first. Let that sentence be your compass. Let it guide your words, your reactions, your thoughts. Let it quiet the noise in your mind and remind you, God is not asking for perfection today. He's asking for presence, for openness, for a heart that turns to Him first. And that's what you're doing right now. You are making room for God, not after everything is done, but before anything even begins. That is a holy act. That is where peace begins. You may not feel it yet, but that's okay. Trust isn't a feeling, it's a decision, and the more you choose it, the more it shapes you. So as this day unfolds, keep returning to this place of trust. When stress rises, return to trust. When people disappoint you, return to trust. When unexpected things happen, return to trust. You are not walking into this day unarmed. You are walking with faith, with the whisper of a heart that knows, my God goes before me. Let that truth be your morning song. Let it be your silent strength. Let it be the first thing you hold on to when you rise. You've started this day in the right place, not by chasing answers, not by checking boxes, but by choosing to trust. And now, there is something deeper you're invited to surrender, your own understanding. Because as humans, we often lean on what we know, what we can predict, what we can control, but trust asks more of us. It asks you to release your grip on what makes sense, and hold tighter to the one who sees beyond it all. And that's not always easy. Your mind wants to figure things out. Your heart wants to make sure you're safe. Your thoughts swirl with what ifs and if onlys. But this morning, you are invited into a better way. Not the way of overthinking, but the way of resting in God's wisdom. You don't need to know the whole story. You don't need to have a perfect plan. You don't need to understand every step ahead. What you need, what your soul is quietly craving, is peace. And peace doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from knowing that God knows. So breathe with that, let it sink in. You are allowed to not have it all figured out. You are allowed to say, I don't know what to do next, but I know who holds me. That's not weakness, that's worship. That's what it means to lean not on your own understanding. Maybe you've been trying so hard to solve something on your own. Maybe you've been carrying questions that feel too heavy. Maybe your own thoughts have become a battlefield. If so, this is your moment to lay them down. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to be the expert of your own life. You just need to say this: Lord, I choose to trust your wisdom above my own. Even when I don't understand, I will lean into you. That prayer will change your posture. It will soften your striving. It will quiet the storm inside you. Because you were never meant to navigate this life alone. You were created to walk with God, step by step, question by question, moment by moment. So let go, just a little. You don't have to abandon your thoughts, but you can hold them with open hands. You can say, God, if I'm wrong in what I'm seeing, correct me if I'm blind to something. Show me if I'm scared to move forward. Give me courage, but don't let me lead myself. Lead me by your truth. That kind of humility opens doors. It invites God to enter not just your morning routine, but the deep places in your thinking. And when He enters, things change, not always suddenly, but always surely. His light comes where there was confusion. His presence fills the gaps. His wisdom gently takes the place of your fear. Sometimes your understanding tells you to protect yourself, to hold back, to expect the worst, to prepare for disappointment before it arrives. And while that instinct comes from a place of self-preservation, it can slowly build walls around your heart that even grace struggles to enter. That's why this morning, you're being called to lay down that armor, not because life is easy, but because God is trustworthy. He sees the full picture. He sees the reasons behind every delay, the purpose behind every detour, the healing behind every unanswered prayer. Your understanding might only see confusion, but His wisdom is full of clarity. Your understanding may whisper fear, but His voice speaks peace. So let Him speak now. Don't rush into the day trying to outrun your uncertainty. Stay here for a moment and let your soul remember this. You are guided by someone far greater than your logic, more faithful than your predictions, more loving than your self-talk, and that someone is here, right now. You may have grown up learning that you have to figure things out on your own. That strength means knowing what to do at all times. But this is a new kind of strength, the kind that says, I don't need to know everything, I just need to know God is with me. That's the kind of strength that carries you through long seasons and hard choices. It's the strength of surrender. And that's what today can be for you. A quiet surrender to the voice of God over the noise of your thoughts. You don't have to ignore your understanding. Just don't let it lead you. Let it be a companion, not the captain. Let God lead instead. You can even say it aloud, if you want. God, I don't want to lead myself today. I don't want to be directed by fear, by habit, or by pressure. I want to be led by your Spirit. I want to walk not in the strength of my own reasoning, but in the safety of your will. Let that be your offering. Let that be your act of trust. You don't need 1,000 plans this morning. You just need one surrender. One turning of the heart toward the shepherd who knows every path. And the more you do this, the more you will learn to recognize His way. His way is peace, even when nothing is certain. His way is quiet confidence, even when your heart is trembling. His way is light in the dark and rest in the middle of chaos. So take that next breath slowly, and let it carry this truth deeper into your soul. You are not limited to your own vision. You are not bound by your own understanding. You are guided by a God who sees the end from the beginning. And He will not abandon you halfway through. He knows what you're walking into. He knows the exact moment your strength will falter, and He has already prepared what you need before you even knew you would need it. That is why you can trust. That is why you can release control. That is why you can breathe deeper today than you did yesterday. Because you are not relying on your own wisdom anymore. You are being led by grace. You may be standing at the edge of something today, something unknown, something new, something uncertain, and your heart might be quietly whispering, "I don't know the way." That admission, though small, holds great beauty, because when you say you don't know the way, you are not confessing failure, you are opening the door to divine direction. God is not waiting for you to have a map. He is not asking you to predict the outcome. He is simply inviting you to follow Him one step at a time. This morning, that is your posture, not one of control, but of trust, not one of knowing the path, but of knowing the one who leads. Perhaps your mind is searching for clarity, a sign, or some assurance that the next choice will be the right one. But often, clarity comes not before the step, but after it, and trust is what bridges the space between the question and the answer. You don't have to see the entire staircase today. You just need to take the next faithful step with God. That may look like a small act of obedience. It may look like stillness. It may look like waiting. It may look like letting go of what seems safe. But whatever it is, you can walk into it because you're not walking alone. The Lord who sees the way ahead is walking beside you. Say it to your heart. Even when I don't know the way, I am still led, even when I feel lost. I am not abandoned, even when I see no sign. I am still held by the shepherd who never loses track of his own. There is freedom in not knowing. It unburdens you. It lifts the pressure to be perfect. It makes space for wonder and grace. When you surrender your need to always understand, you give God room to reveal things in His time. You step out of the illusion of control and into the peace of being led. And if today you feel like you're wandering, unsure of where this season is going or how your efforts are unfolding, remember this. Wandering is not the same as being lost. Sometimes God allows you to walk through unfamiliar places to deepen your dependence on Him. Sometimes He removes the obvious path so that you'll lean more fully into His presence. This morning is not about finding every answer. It's about choosing every moment to follow. Follow not with certainty, but with devotion. Follow not with guarantees, but with trust. So here is your quiet offering today. Lord, I don't know the way, but I know You, and that is enough. Let that truth soften your anxious thoughts. Let it rise above the doubt that creeps in. Let it shape the way you speak, the way you respond, the way you move, because if you begin the day with surrender, you won't need to force direction. You'll receive it. You'll notice the gentle nudge, the soft redirection, The quiet peace that signals His hand is guiding you. And even if you take a wrong step, He will not shame you. He will shepherd you back. There may be moments today when the silence feels heavier than usual, when your prayers seem to float unanswered into the air, and you wonder if God is truly paying attention. But trust does not depend on what you feel, it rests on what you know. And this you can know: God has never abandoned you, not for a single breath. He does not leave His children to figure things out alone. He walks beside you, even when the path feels hidden. And often, in the moments when you feel most lost, He is actually drawing you closer, teaching you how to listen in stillness, how to walk without fear, how to lean not on clarity but on relationship. That's what this morning is for, not for fixing the road ahead, but for strengthening the one who walks it, you. So if the way ahead seems unclear, that does not mean you've done something wrong. It does not mean you've failed to hear God. It may simply mean He's inviting you into deeper trust. He's asking you to walk slowly with Him, to stop trying to see 10 steps ahead, and instead let Him show you one gentle direction at a time. And sometimes, the next step is not an action, it's a surrender. Sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is to sit in His presence and say, I don't need the answers today, Lord, I just need to know You are near. That kind of trust is stronger than planning. It's stronger than understanding. It's what carries you through days that feel uncertain. And when the doubt returns, because it will, you can return to this quiet space. You can return to the posture of trust. You can remember that you don't have to perform your faith. You just have to live it. Step by step, breath by breath, with the awareness that God is not far off, watching from a distance. He is beside you, whispering hope into the corners of your fear. You don't have to force His presence. You don't have to beg for direction. Just be still and let your heart say, You know the way, so I will follow You, even when I don't see. Let this be the rhythm of your morning, not rushing toward answers, but resting in presence, not grasping for certainty, but giving space for grace, not depending on yourself to chart the course, but delighting in the one who walks it with you. When you live this way, the path doesn't need to be perfect. Your faith doesn't need to be flawless. Your steps don't have to be fast. They only need to be faithful. And that's what you're doing right now. You are being faithful to begin this day not with fear, but with trust, not with plans, but with prayer. This morning, before the noise of the world fills your ears, before the pressures of the day rise around you, you are invited into a sacred prayer, not just for clarity, not just for direction, but for protection. Not protection from outside forces alone, but protection for your heart, because your heart is where everything begins. Your choices, your words, your actions, they all flow from the state of your heart. And today, more than anything else, you need your heart to be guarded by the peace of God. Not just guarded from fear or anger or temptation, but guarded from weariness, guarded from self-doubt, guarded from bitterness. So as you begin this day, speak this prayer gently within you. Lord, guard my heart, keep it soft, keep it clean, keep it free. Maybe yesterday left you with wounds. Maybe someone's words pierced more deeply than you expected. Maybe you woke up with a heaviness you can't explain. That's why you need to start here, not with fixing the world outside, but with tending to what lives inside. You need a heart that can love even when it's tired, a heart that can hope even when it's been hurt, a heart that can forgive even when it remembers the pain. That kind of heart is not something you can make on your own. It's something only God can shape, gently and faithfully, when you invite Him in. So invite Him now. Invite Him not just to walk with you, but to live within you, to rule your emotions, to guide your reactions, to purify your desires. And once your heart is guarded, your steps can be guided, because you don't just want to move forward today, you want to move wisely. You want your words to carry grace. You want your presence to bring peace. You want your steps to lead toward truth and not away from it. That's why you need more than a to-do list this morning. You need discernment. The kind that doesn't come from clever thinking, but from quiet listening. The kind that asks, God, not just where should I go, but who should I become as I go? That is the kind of prayer that shapes your day before it begins. And that's the kind of prayer you're making now. So breathe, friend, and say it again. Lord, guard my heart, guide my steps. Let that be your rhythm. Let it echo silently in every room you enter today. Let it walk with you into every meeting, every conversation, every decision. And when you feel anger rise, let it return you to peace. When you feel judgment grow, let it bring you back to mercy. When you feel fear creep in, let it draw you near to God's love. You are not walking through this day defenseless. You are walking under the care of your Father, and He knows how to protect you. He knows how to guide you. He knows how to keep your heart tender and your steps steady. Even when the path is unpredictable, you will face choices today that might seem small but carry weight. A word spoken in frustration or kindness. A decision made from pressure or prayer. A moment of silence when your pride wants to speak. These are the places where your steps matter. These are the moments where the condition of your heart shows itself. And that's why you've asked God to guard you, not because you expect perfection from yourself, but because you desire His presence in every part of you. You are not asking to be flawless. You are asking to be faithful. And that's what makes this prayer holy. It shifts your focus from trying harder to trusting deeper. You begin to see the day not as something to conquer, but as something to offer, moment by moment, step by step, decision by decision. And when you do lose your way, because you might, when you speak out of fear instead of love, when you choose what's comfortable instead of what's right, when your heart grows cold instead of compassionate, don't let shame drive you away. Let grace draw you back. You are still His. You are still being led. You are still held by a shepherd who guides not only your victories but also your stumbles. That is why this morning prayer is not a one-time request. It is a foundation for the hours ahead. It becomes the prayer beneath all your prayers, the thread beneath every breath. Guard my heart, guide my steps. So as the day unfolds, let this be your secret strength. When your thoughts race, pause and return to this simple truth. I don't need to have it all together. I just need to stay close to the one who holds all things together. Let that bring peace. Let that bring clarity. Let that bring humility. Because God is not only guarding your heart, He is forming it. And as He forms it, He shapes the path beneath your feet. You don't have to fear the unknown. You don't have to control every outcome. You are walking with someone who sees the road clearly. He knows where you're going, He knows how to get you there. He knows how to grow you along the way. So go into this day not with pressure, but with peace, not with fear, but with faith, not with the need to perform, but with the desire to stay connected. Say it one last time before you step out. Lord, today, guard my heart and guide my steps. Say it as a prayer. Say it as a surrender. Say it as a declaration of trust. And then move forward, slowly, bravely, prayerfully, knowing that you are not alone. You are not lost. You are not unprotected. You are deeply loved, fully seen, and continually led. That is your covering today. That is your peace. That is your prayer. Now that you've paused to trust, to surrender, to let go of understanding, and to ask for a guarded heart and guided steps, there is one more prayer to carry into this day. To trust God not just in this moment, but with everything that lies ahead. Because even when the morning is peaceful, you know the hours to come may bring change. Some things might go exactly as planned. Others may fall apart. People may bless you. People may hurt you. You might feel strong, or you might feel broken again by lunchtime. But none of these things are too much for God. So before they even happen, before you step into what's unknown, you can make a holy decision right now. I will trust you. Lord, with all that will come. This is more than wishful thinking. It's a declaration that no matter what comes your way today, joy or sorrow, success or struggle, delight or disappointment, you will meet it not with panic, but with peace, because you have already chosen your anchor. You have already rooted your day not in control, but in Christ, and that choice, made now, in stillness, will shape how you respond to everything that follows. It will be the reason you breathe deeply instead of rushing, the reason you speak with grace instead of reaction, the reason you choose stillness when the world demands movement. This is not weakness, this is worship, and it begins here, with a whisper. Lord, I don't know what today will bring, but whatever it is, I trust you with it. You can trust him with the conversation you've been dreading. You can trust him with the meeting that might change everything. You can trust him with your loneliness, your deadlines, your schedule, your unknowns. You can trust him with the people you love, the people who've left, the people who are hurting. You can even trust him with yourself, your limits, your emotions, your flaws, your fatigue. There is nothing that he cannot carry. And if you hand it to him now, not at the end of the day when you're weary, but at the beginning, you'll walk through this day lighter. You'll walk freer, because you're not waiting until things fall apart to run to God. You're walking with him from the first step. So take a deep breath and say it in your heart. Lord, I give you what I don't yet see. I trust you with what hasn't happened. I surrender what I cannot control. And as you say those words, notice what shifts inside you. Notice the pressure loosen. Notice the worry fade. Notice the hope grow. That's what trust does. It transforms your inner posture before anything external changes. It turns your focus from what might happen to who will be with you no matter what happens. And that is enough. That is where peace begins. That is where courage is born. That is where joy takes root, not in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of unwavering trust. You don't need to know the outcome of every situation to walk confidently into today. You only need to know who holds the outcome, and the one who holds it has never failed you. never forgotten you, never changed his mind about you. That's why you can entrust this day to him, not because it will be easy, but because he will be enough. Even if tears fall, he will catch them. Even if strength fails, he will carry you. Even if doubts return, he will stay. So release the need to brace for every possible scenario. Let go of the instinct to try and be ready for everything. Instead, let your readiness be this: you are loved, you are led, you are held by the hands of the one who already sees it all. That is your strength, that is your peace. And when moments come that shake you, because they will, return to this foundation. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to respond perfectly. You only need to remember what you chose this morning: to trust. Not passively, not naively, but intentionally, boldly. You chose to hand over your plans and say, "God, have your way." You chose to believe that even if things don't look good, he can still bring good from them. You chose to trust that the unknown is not unsafe when he is there. This is what faith looks like, not the absence of uncertainty, but the decision to rest in God in the midst of it. That decision will shape you more than anything that happens around you today. So walk into this day slowly. Walk in step with the Spirit. Let each conversation be filtered through grace. Let each interruption be met with gentleness. Let each setback be a moment of redirection, not discouragement. And above all, let every step be a reminder: I am walking in trust. That trust doesn't mean you'll always feel calm. It means you'll always return to the truth, again and again and again. You will return to the whisper that began this morning: I trust you with all that will come. And in that returning, you will find strength, you will find peace, you will find God. And so, as this morning prayer draws to a close, let it leave you not with pressure, but with presence, not with fear, but with stillness, not with answers, but with anchoring. You have chosen to begin this day in the arms of the Father. You have chosen to give him the first word. You have chosen to believe that whatever comes, he will come with you. That is more than enough. That is your security. That is your hope. That is your blessing. So take one final breath, place your hand over your heart, and say one last time, Lord, I trust you with all that will come. This day is yours. I am yours. And now, go, not alone, not uncertain, but with God beside you, within you, before you. Let that be your rhythm. Let that be your rest. Let that be your prayer. Amen.